Welcome to Joy for the Journey, the podcast where we explore the winding paths of purpose, faith, and joy. I'm your host, Joy, and I'm thrilled to embark on this transformative journey with you. Are you a woman seeking more than just existence and a soul yearning for fulfillment, purpose, and unwavering joy? Well, you're not alone. In this sacred space, we'll navigate the highs and lows, the doubts and triumphs, and the divine whispers guiding us toward our true calling. Through candid conversations, inspiring stories, and practical insights, Joy for the Journey is your compass, your confidant, and your catalyst for embracing the abundant life God intends for you. So if you're ready to reclaim your joy, renew your hope, and rediscover the woman God created you to be, join me on this adventure. Let's walk together step by step towards a life filled with purpose, passion, and unbridled joy. This is Joy for the Journey. Welcome aboard. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Joy for the Journey. I hope that you are enjoying these conversations. I hope that they're helping you along the way, and I hope that you are truly finding joy as you walk out your purpose. And it's funny because I'm recording these, and really it's just all of the things that I've learned. It is some of the things I'm still trying to figure out as I walk my purpose journey. So I want to thank each and every one of you who's listened, because truly I believe together we are arriving to become the women that God wants us to be, which brings me to this topic today, which is community. Oh man, it is so interesting that the biggest thing that I am learning in this season is the need for community. And it's really interesting because I thought I had community. I've got some friends who I love, who are my best friends, who are going to always be there to support me and take care of me. And they're going to always cheer me on. They're going to always encourage me to keep going. But the more and more I thought about them, the more and more I thank God for them. But as I asked God to send me and bring women around me who were like me, I realized for me that there's a difference between the friendships and the community. Because see, with my friendships they're relational. They're people that I know intimately. We have deep-rooted trust and we can support each other on all kinds of levels, not just the level of business or family, but they've been a part of the journey of my life. And I am so grateful for them. But there comes a time when I've got to be around a community. And for me, the community is a group of women who share the same beliefs that I share, who share the same ideas that I share, but they're also walking in the same journey that I'm on. And I have found that as much as I love my friends, many of them are not entrepreneurs. So when I call crying, when I call frustrated, when I'm ready to walk away, they give me encouragement as Joy. But it's hard for them to see me as Joy, the entrepreneur. So whereas they're cheering me on, I ask God, I'm like, God, show me some ladies that I can be around who get it. And it's interesting because when I first started my professional career, I was a talker. You know that already. But I started doing training, and I didn't know what training really consisted of. I knew that training was an industry, but I didn't know much about it. It wasn't until early 2000s that I started working for Monster.com. You know Monster.com. They used to be called Monster Worldwide, and they had a program called the Diversity Leadership Program. And that program was a program for college students all over the country to come to certain college campuses. This group of people that I was a part of would put on workshops for the entire weekend. We do leadership, diversity, resume writing, interviewing, and companies will come from all over the country to meet the top 10% of the college students in the country. But here was what was beautiful. I would work Monday through Friday, and then I would leave Friday evening, fly out to whatever college campus we were on, and we would facilitate workshops. And we would be loud, and we would be excited, and we would be cheering, and we would all be on one accord, and we would all be the same. And I realized then, this is a community of people who get me. They are trainers, so they talk a lot. They're expressive. They use their hands. They tend to cut people off because they're so excited, but their eyes light up when they get to share, when they get to communicate, when they get to facilitate. And that's when I realized that there is a community need in all of our lives. So before we go any further, I'm not asking you to text your friends and tell them they need to become a part of your community. I'm telling you to evaluate your friendships apart from community. In other words, evaluate the resources and the network of people that you have around you. Because the truth is, you can always have friendships, but there are seasons in your life where you're going to need community. So I define community as a network of collective individuals who have belonging and a shared purpose. They offer a variety of resources, perspectives, and opportunities to its members, and that enriches the journey along the way. So here's why it's important to have a community, because a community doesn't just take from you. A community also pours back into you. Take a look at this. If you're on social media right now, you know everybody's got a community. Everybody's got a place that you can go to get resources. Everybody, come join my community. Now we've got the broadcast channels and all of that. But even the broadcast channels are one way. I believe that true community is an equal sharing and exchange of information. Our communities are where we can go and get questions answered, but we can also go and be filled. We can also go and be encouraged. But not only are we taking those things out, but we're putting those things back in. And where one of us lacks in one area, someone else is strong. Where one of us needs a little more support, some of us can show that. Where some of us are ready to throw in the towel and put our hands up, we've got somebody or some people there who can help us along the way. And that's super important, because if you're walking this purpose journey, sometimes strangers are the best people to help and support you. When I first started, speaking of joy, I got so frustrated because I was like, man, my friends are not supporting me like I think they should. And I called a couple of my line sisters who are entrepreneurs, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't get my friends to like, to share, to tell anybody about it. They've got opportunities, they've got companies I can get into. And I was just really frustrated about that. And the one thing that my line sisters said was, the two people that are going to bless you are strangers and Jesus. And I thought that was funny, but the truth is that's who I've been working with and called to, are the strangers. And we're not strangers anymore. Hey, girl. And of course, Jesus. But what it showed me is that community does not have to be people that you know. Community has to be people that you develop with. Think about that. You don't have to know them. You don't have to be friends. You don't have to exchange numbers, but God will allow you to meet people along this journey who become a part of your network. I've met some dynamic women who I ordinarily would have never met had it not been for this journey. That's why I say friendships are a little different, because a network, we have the shared ideas, we have shared thoughts. In a community, we're all headed in the same direction, because the truth is, I could have friends, and I do have friends, and we are great friends, but we're not necessarily headed in the same direction. And it's no problem that we're not headed in the same direction. It's just that we have different needs and our level of support can be different. So this is for the woman who's like, I got friends and I love my girlfriends to death, but man, where are those people that I can call, that I can cry with, who understand my pain? We're here. And so when you look for community, and when you pray about community, and when you're asking God to send a community to you, understand what your community is there for. Because your community is not there to drag you along the process and drag you along the journey. Your community is there first to provide emotional and empowerment support. A good community will empower you. A good community will provide resources to help you realize your potential. A good community is not just about cheering you on in the sense of saying, girl, you got it, you can do it. A good community is also a group of ladies who are going to say, yes, you can do it, and I'm going to show you how. When I tell you, when I started this business, it was so hard, and still is to this day to some degree, to find women who will give you the secret sauce. And many of them will say, well, my process is not your process. It's all different. That's true. But if you can springboard me along the way, that would be amazing. But there's a level of competition that I think a lot of women have, that we feel as if I give you my information and all of my resources, then I lose something. Let me encourage you, if that's the way you feel, then you're missing who God is, because God has enough resources and clients and contracts, relationships for every single one of us to accomplish what's set before us. So the idea that you can't share your resources because you'll lack is a scarcity mentality. And honestly, I don't want you in my community. But it's been so hard. I even spoke to a young lady yesterday, and she said the same thing. She said, Joy, I appreciate you because you're sharing. And I believe that the Bible says, given it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. We always quote that scripture when we talk about money, but that scripture really has nothing to do with money. It's about how you treat people. It's about what you put out for people. And if I trust God, then I can share every resource, every opportunity with you, and God's going to bless me still. So if you're looking for a community and you want to have a community of women, find women who will be your empowerment support. They are willing to share with you. They're willing to provide for you. They're even speaking your name in rooms that you're not in. A good support system, a good community is always looking, how can I elevate you? And so they're doing the things that are necessary. They're making the connections. They're having the conversations on your behalf. That's a great community. Another thing to look for when we talk about community is a positive community. Woo, ain't nothing like a whole lot of negative women. And so you want to find a group of women or a community where there's positivity, where there's encouragement, where there's support, where there is understanding, where when you're down, I'm not kicking you even more. I'm saying to you, girl, we can do this. And we're looking at things positively, even the things that are negative, even the things that could damage us and hurt us. There are people inside of your community who are saying, yeah, but they're the glass half full people. They're the people who say, you're going to get out of this. They're the people who say, I believe in you. They're the positive people. Even when a door closes, they can help you see that that door may have closed, but God has another door for you. That's a positive community. They're a community that celebrates you. They celebrate your success. There's no competition. If you have a contract, they have a contract. If you got a client, they got a client. And they're rooting you on and they're supporting you and they're always speaking positive into your life. There's enough negativity all around us. So we don't want to be in an environment that is a protected environment, a protected community where there's negativity. I am so funny story. Shout out to all these ladies. You know who you are. Yesterday, I was in a meeting and it was a lot of women in there. And the women know I'm doing a podcast. And it was so funny because when I walked in the room, they said, well, what happened with the cinnamon roll? You got to listen to that podcast. What happened with the cinnamon roll? Did Stephen give Shelby the cinnamon roll? And that was the one on patience. So it's called Unrushing, but just check it out. But it was nice to be embraced for what I'm doing. And then as we were talking, every time somebody would say something, they would look at me and say, oh, that's good content. You can use that. And we joked about it, but it was an environment where I could laugh and be myself. And I was embraced for the work that I'm doing. And these women don't really know me. They know me a little bit, but they don't really know me. But the fact that they were willing to say, we're proud of you. Hey, how can we listen? How can we subscribe? What do we need to do? And saying those things and encouraging me. That's beauty. So shout out to all those women. I said I wasn't going to say your name, so I won't. Ha, 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 ha. But I thank God for a moment of collective women who are saying we're proud of you, who are saying it's good, you're doing a great job, keep up the good work. That's the type of community you want. And then you want a community of active participants. Nobody likes a one-sided relationship. Nobody likes a one-sided anything. Even coins have two sides. So I want a relationship in a community where there's a give and a take, where we're reciprocal, where the love and the support is something that we're sharing together. After I started speaking of joy, I remember taking a class for the very first time. And the young lady that I was working with was a gem. She literally opened up her books and we didn't have anything to offer her, opened up her books and told us how to get our businesses started. And she was like, listen, I'm going to share everything I have with you because I want you to know what it is. But the beauty of that was that she's always been that way. She's always helped. She's always supported, but she's been active. She's not the type of person that says, I'm going to give you these resources, but I'm not going to show you how to get there. And so for her, active participation means we're often regularly connecting. Another thing you want to look for when we're looking for a community is active participation. No community should be one-sided. We want to get together. We want to find ways to support. We want to find ways to be engaged because it's hard enough to walk this journey. But if you've got some people who say we're walking it with you, you ought to be able to look around and see them with you. So if you're part of a community, look for a community of women that are doing it with you. They're alongside you. You're arm in arm. And even when you may not see each other regularly, you're able to come together, whether it's over coffee, whether it's over drinks, whether it's over Zoom now, just to collect and bring ideas together. A good community has a collection of ideas and thoughts. A good community has mutual sharing. A good community has, as one of my clients would say, a symbiotic relationship. Means there's a give and a take. Means that we're all supporting each other. Means that we're all working toward the same goal. Means that we're all working and investing, equally investing. One of the hardest things that I have found in the relationships that I have had over the years is there's not an equal investment. Feels like I'm giving, 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 and people are taking, taking, taking. But then when I need someone to give, there's no one there. So when you're looking for community, you want a place where you can give and receive. You want to be able to sit and exhale. You want to be able to also get up and move forward and have people propelling you and encouraging you along the way. So a good community is active. Everybody's working together. And some of us may have a strength in one area and some may have a strength in another area, but we're all collectively doing the work together. Because a community, the goal for the community is for the collective to succeed. The goal for the community is for the collective to get to the point where they are all successful. And then here's the biggest one for me. A good community is transparent and authentic. I don't want to be around folks in my personal life, in my professional life, in my church, anywhere that I am with people who are inauthentic, with people who are not honest and true. Now, I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, but one thing I can 100% guarantee you is that I'm always going to be myself and I'm always going to be true to who I am. And I don't want to be in a community or a network of women who can't say the same. If you're not able to be 100% first with yourself, then I can't expect you to be 100% with me. And if you can't be 100% with yourself, then I'm hoping at least you're 100% with God. But even if you're not 100% with God, then it's really impossible for you to be 100% in this collective. So a good community is made up of authentic people, flawed, embarrassed, boisterous, excited, shy, understanding, controversial, whatever you are, you bring that to the community because there's a need for it. And if you're a part of a community where everybody is diverse, that's even more beautiful. Because as much as I love Joy, I don't want to be around a whole lot of Joys all the time. I got two of them at home. So I want to find a community of people that don't necessarily think like me, but they're true to who they are. I want a group of women who, when I talk, they listen, but they challenge as well. I want a group of women who say, Joy, that's a good idea, but have you thought about this? Or Joy, that makes no sense. Don't do that at all. I want a community of women who are going to be for me, but who are also going to be 100% who they are. Because when you show up as yourself, you make me better. Iron sharpens iron. You make me better. So when we talk about a good, healthy community, it's made up of healthy individuals. So as you look around in your community, find women who are emotionally healthy, who are spiritually healthy, who are psychologically healthy. And no, we don't have it all together. But in order for us to move at the pace that God has for us, in order for us to really support each other, we can't bring our issues to the community in that way. We've got to be ready to heal. We've got to be ready to move on. And we've got to be ready to take this world by storm. Amos 3:3 says, how can two walk together unless they be agreed? And I believe that is a very true statement for community because it talks about how can you walk together, and walk together means arm in arm, side by side, unless they be agreed. And by agreed, it doesn't mean we have to agree on the same thing. Agreed there means that we have our eyes fixed on the same thing. It means that we're headed in the same direction. So even though you may not be an entrepreneur, a life coach for women, you may be a woman of purpose and we're agreed. You may be a wife of purpose and we're agreed. You may be a daughter of purpose and we're agreed because we're headed in the same direction. So when I look at walking together, I want to walk with women who are headed in the direction I'm headed. Now, we may all be on a different path. We may all get there at different times, but the beauty is that we're all headed in the same direction. Here's how to know you have a community. You feel safe. You feel seen. You feel protected. You feel encouraged. And you find commonality in pursuing the things that interest you. If you find that in a group of ladies, you have found your community. So I encourage you, and if you don't have a community, to build one. Look for women who believe like you believe, who share the common principles, who share the common values, who don't mind investing in you while you invest in them. This is not just about friends. Go outside your friend circle. In fact, look for strangers. I'm not saying walk up to them and be like, hey, you want to be a part of my community? But essentially, step outside of your comfort zone. You never know. I'm one of those people that I never like marketing. I've never liked networking because I don't like meeting new people. As much as I'm an extrovert, we'll talk about extrovert and introvert later, but as much as I'm considered an extrovert, I don't like conversations on an airplane. I don't like just being in a room of people I don't know until I feel comfortable. But the truth is, that's where my community has been found. In a room of strangers, in a room of women I don't know, in a room of women who I just ran into by happenstance, and all of a sudden we're on the same page, doing the same things, headed in the same direction, supporting the same ideas and thoughts. So don't avoid the opportunity to meet new people. And then don't get upset with your girlfriends when they're not a part of your community. Doesn't change your friendship. It just means that they're not on this journey at this time in this space with you. Doesn't mean they don't support you. Doesn't mean they don't love you. Doesn't mean they don't cheer you on. But it also means that there are some other women who are more equipped to handle the things you're handling. So listen, find your community. I'm finding mine, and I want to thank you for being a part of my community. I pray that something that is happening on Speaking of Joy and Joy for the Journey is blessing you. So welcome to the community of women where we passionately pursue purpose. I'll talk to you soon. Welcome to Joy for the Journey, the podcast where we explore the winding paths of purpose, faith, and joy. I'm your host, Joy, and I'm thrilled to embark on this transformative journey with you. Are you a woman seeking more than just existence and a soul yearning for fulfillment, purpose, and unwavering joy? Well, you're not alone. In this sacred space, we'll navigate the highs and lows, the doubts and triumphs, and the divine whispers guiding us toward our true calling. Through candid conversations, inspiring stories, and practical insights, Joy for the Journey is your compass, your confidant, and your catalyst for embracing the abundant life God intends for you. So if you're ready to reclaim your joy, renew your hope, and rediscover the woman God created you to be, join me on this adventure. Let's walk together step by step towards a life filled with purpose, passion, and unbridled joy. This is Joy for the Journey. Welcome aboard.